Last time on Sailing Eternal Tides, we took our ASA 101 course and learned how to sail. This time, the video is going to be a little different and we're going to give a walkthrough of everything we plan to do on the boat. Sorry if it's a little boring. Hey, I'm Kelsey, and this is my husband Patrick. We're scientists and avid environmentalists turned adventure elopement photographers. We've been living in Hawaii for the past 5 years. We're following our dreams and just bought this boat. Her name is Blue Planet, and we're renovating the entire thing. Follow along and watch the transformation as we prepare for epic elopements at sea. Hey guys, so we've been pretty excited to share a bunch of the renovations that we're working on with you. We have finalized or started to finalize some plans with a contractor, but there's a bunch of work that we're going to be doing ourselves, so we're going to walk through the entire boat starting with the V-berth. So in the V-berth, that's actually the room that we're going to do the most work on ourselves. It seems the most manageable. A lot of the stuff in the V-berth is still in really good condition and just needs a facelift. And that's been my main project since we've gotten the boat. So the first thing we did is took off all of the cabinetry. All of the wood doors had these like ingrained wood pulls in them, which has left a hollow space that has to be filled with epoxy. But we're going to paint all of that kind of an off-white color and put new handles on it that is uniform. So we're about halfway through that project right now. We started doing a bunch of stuff in the V-berth and then moved to some projects that are on the outside of the boat, since we need to make sure that everything is really weather tight and all of the V-berth woodwork can sit and wait for a little while we finalize those other more important projects. The inside of the cabinets for the entire boat, but in the V-berth as well, have an installation, I guess you could call it installed, but it's not even really
insulation,
yeah. It's not stuck on at all. It's just kind of haphazardly placed there, so I don't think it's doing a very good job insulating, and there's a lot of mold behind it that we've started to clean. So we're thinking that we're gonna refinish some of the headliner and then all of the inside of the cabinets with marine grade vinyl, probably from Infinity Fabrics. We have some samples. We're still waiting on like 5 more to come. But it's cool because they come in a variety of widths. So for somewhere that you want like more insulation, I don't know if you can see that, you get the thicker one. And then they have thinner grades as well in a bunch of different patterns. So we're still deciding on that, but it looks like it should be an okay install job for us to do ourselves, which, is one of the ways that we're trying to keep costs down, even though they're already really high. And it'll just create a uniform look throughout the boat. So we're going to do that on the insides of the V-berth, and that's going to be our test for whether we can do it on the rest of the boat. On the sides of the hull, the fiberglass, there was this really terrible paisley fabric that was in there. It's like green puke color when we first got the boat. It was super thin. It was ripped in a bunch of places and then just had normal foam glued onto the fiberglass behind it. So it's been a pain in the to get the glue off of the fiberglass hole. I might just go at it with a sander and see if that works. But on the side of the hole there is a slight curve to it. It's not a uniform size, so we were really struggling with what we were going to do. And right now, I think that the best option, and this might still change, but we're probably going to get pole wrap, which is what's used to go around like basement poles. And it's flexible and has just really nice kind of wood look to it. And I think that has just like a really small foam type backing, so we should be able to glue that down. And it should look really nice, and we can just finish it with some varnish. So that's the plan for the top half of the V-berth. We're also going to get a custom mattress made, and we'll be doing a future video when we make the template for that on how to make it.
Yeah, the V-berth has an unusual shape to it, so we can't just like buy a mattress. Pretty much has to be measured out and will conform to the side of the hull basically as well.
Yeah. And then the only other thing is the flooring, but we're tearing out the flooring in the entire boat, and that's not a project we're actually going to be doing ourselves. Our contractor is doing that. So we want it to be a really nice, cute, welcoming space. It's one of the first things that you see when you walk through the companionway. Since we're photographers, I envision that space for maybe like some boudoir on the boat or a second getting ready space. So we want to make sure that it's really nice for our clients. So by far, I think our biggest project, I definitely see it as our biggest project, is the galley, because we're essentially gutting the whole thing. That wasn't the plan originally. We were going to leave the cabinetry in place and just refinish the outside, kind of refinish the seating area. But once the contractor came and gave us a quote for all of the work, we just decided that it made sense to do it all at once.
And it'll look a lot better, and it'll be continuous throughout the entire boat if we have kind of the same woods being used.
Yeah, so we're really excited for these projects because he's going to completely pull out the cabinets in the galley. We're getting rid of the stove. We've just decided that we probably wouldn't use it that much anyways. So we're going to put an induction cooktop on there.
Electric, because the one that's in there right now is propane. And we're also trying to move away from using gas propane. Right now the propane's housed inside the galley, inside the cabin, which technically you're not supposed to do. It should be vented on the outside. So we're just going to take out the entire propane system and replace it with electric.
Yeah, we're also taking out, we have a pretty good sized fridge in here right now, but I don't know, it's kind of big and black and ugly, and even though it's new, the temperature is like not consistent. It's just kind of annoying. So we're going to replace it with a really nice half fridge. And then since we're doing all new seating area where we're sitting right now, we're thinking that we might build in some sort of drawer pull out for a fridge freezer down there. So still trying to figure out what that's going to look like. But this whole seating area is quite large, but it's actually really hard to get in and out of the booth. The table is like too big for the size of the seating area. It's really annoying. And again, like this was a project that we could have maybe done, but probably would have done a bad job at ourselves, because the back is curved over here, and just dealing with the curves on the boat and us not being woodworkers, it just makes so much sense to have someone build it out. So he's going to do a whole new seating area, including cushions, and then still deciding what we're going to do with the table that the camera is sitting on. And then, you know, the couch is going to open up and be future battery storage when we move to solar and need, you know, more batteries on board. So we're planning for the future. It's definitely the biggest project, and even bigger that we're probably not going to open the can of worms with right now is, since we're tearing out the flooring, we also need to install hatches.
So yeah, the hatches will be so that we can get to the current stainless steel tanks that are under the cabin sole here. So when they built the boat, they basically fiberglassed in the tanks. They're extremely large. We have 200-gallon diesel tank and 200-gallon freshwater tank under the floor here, but there's no way to get to it, and since it's from 1978, we really have no idea what condition those are in. Right now the engine's being run off of a day tank, a 17-gallon day tank, but it'd be nice to have those tanks accessible for future if we ever end up cruising in this boat. So installing some hatches in the floor is a must for that.
And then the last big project kind of in the galley is the stairs down, because obviously that's storage space. Everything on a boat is storage, and they are falling apart. I am super worried that we're going to step on them one of these days and they're just going to disintegrate. So we probably could have built new stairs ourselves. They wouldn't have been storage, but again, contractors just taking care of all of these projects for us, and we're going to have nice, beautiful stairs that still allows us to access the area behind it.
And again, those will likely be matching all the rest of the wood throughout the boat, so it'll look really nice.
Yeah. And then moving through the hallway, we're not doing too much in the hallway. We have the full engine room and panel, and I, as of right now, don't really want to touch that area. It's probably one of the only areas of the boat that are going to stay wood for now. We are ripping out the headliner. There's a old vinyl headliner. It's in okay condition over there, but just, again, want it to match everything. So we're going to be doing one of those nice infinity fabrics, whichever one we choose, in that area. And then, of course, the flooring. But that's really all we're doing. The engine room itself is a big project and not really part of the facelift transformation.
Yeah, so there's lots of work that I've already been doing in the engine room. Biggest thing was cleaning out the bilge. So at the bottom of the boat where all the water collects, there was already some water that had been sitting in there for quite a while. Not much, just a couple inches, but it was smelly and brown. And
smelled so bad, you guys.
Yeah, so we spent a good amount of time vacuuming all that out, cleaning it up, and then putting soap in it, Dawn soap in it, and just letting it sit for a while, and then vacuuming all that out. And yeah, so cleaning the bilge, and also organizing some of the old wiring. The wiring in there is kind of a mess. So there's a big rat's nest of wires in there that I need to sort out. Probably won't be me. Probably will bring in an electrician, certified electrician, to do most of that.
So we actually have two heads on board, or bathrooms. So there's the one adjacent to the V-berth, the day head. So again, contractor is taking on most of the work. We took out the mirror that was in there. I'm replacing the door. The flooring can actually stay because it's like a, I don't know, like a fiberglass.
It's like a waterproof bathtub
in the shape of the bathroom. So we can't move that. But the plan is to renovate the entire bathroom. Again, we're looking at this from a photo perspective. We know that there's going to be getting ready photos taken in both of the bathrooms at some point. So we want it to be aesthetically pleasing, for those photos, and a really nice, calming environment for our guests. In the other head, the one that's in the aft stateroom, there is a small shower and a smaller toilet. It's a tiny little toilet. It is not easy to sit on that toilet, so it is not ideal for anyone that's really larger than us. So keeping the toilets, obviously. Probably gonna do a little bit of tiling in the shower, and then I'm scouring the internet right now to find some gold shower hardware that matches. I also want to put some cute tile inside, but we'll see what happens with that. Got rid of the shower curtain, and then same as all of the other rooms in the aft stateroom, we're tearing out this terrible flooring. We're gonna build all new cabinetry and countertops in here, and then there's a lot of finishing work that needs to happen in the aft stateroom. So all of the back panels behind the bed are essentially falling off, the same as the insulation elsewhere. They're not really attached. It's an easy job to tear them out. Probably going to put infinity fabrics in several of those places, and then gonna give everything in here a new paint job as well. So there is weeks worth of sanding ahead of us for the aft stateroom. And again, I foresee the aft stateroom being kind of a getting ready area for our couples. So need to be able to hang wedding attire, and we have this really nice big mirror that'll be awesome for some getting ready photos. We're taking on this boat project while Patrick is a PhD student and I'm running our photography business. Those are full-time jobs for both of us, and ones that we don't plan on putting on hold for the boat. But doing the entire renovation ourselves in time for a launch this fall was just not feasible. It made far more sense to hire an expert in the field that we knew would do a really great job.
So the exterior of the boat is in much better condition than the interior of the boat, since the previous owners spent a lot of time redoing pretty much everything on the outside. So it has new painted holes, new painted cockpits, and non-skid throughout the entire boat, so you
All
don't
the-
slip and slide off the edge.
All the windows were replaced. They're not kind of cruiser strength, but for what we're doing right now, they look great, and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And also the rigging was recently redone entirely, so all the standing rigging is new.
There is teak, which teak just requires maintenance, as you know. So one of my next projects is going to be to sand down and then revarnish all of the teak toe rails, as well as the teak on the bow pulpit, but it's a pretty manageable job. So the biggest cost, and something that we need to pull the trigger on pretty soon, is replacing the sails. And since she's a catch, obviously there's more sails involved. So
yeah, all the sails right now are in pretty rough shape. There's a lot of mildew on them. Right now they're just sitting on deck, basically being exposed to the UV, and Dacron doesn't do well in UV light. Basically, what we need to do first is get a stack pack and lazy jack system. So this will basically protect our new sails, keep them out of the sun, and it will be a lot easier to drop the sails and not have to flake them on deck.
And again, like, we're looking at everything from a photo perspective. We plan on doing a lot of aerial stuff with our clients, or drone footage of the boat. And nice, bright, new, beautiful sails are going to look so much better than the derelict ones we have up right now. The sunbrella casing on the jib furler is red and torn and does not go with the rest of the boat. And we think that those little things make a difference for photos. We're trying to create a 5-star experience from the inside of the boat to the outside of the boat.
And we're getting all the party boats about to leave, so it's getting really loud and the sunset's coming in our face, so I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to us ramble. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next time where we finally take Blue Planet out for the first time and practice docking. Make sure to follow along and subscribe if you're new here.
Yeah, this is going to be a boring video.
But
If you're into
renovations are
this-
not exciting. Like, it's not a glamorous job. It's 8 hours of sweating and sanding and
Thank you for hanging in there.